Hello and welcome back. Today's topic is Mintzberg's managerial roles. Henry Mintzberg is a Canadian who came up with these roles that all managers have. So what does the term role mean? A role is simply what it is you do. You as a student have a certain role as a student in this class. You as a member of your family have a role within your family, what it is you do within your family. And within your group of friends, you have the certain role that you occupy. Maybe you're the nice one, maybe you're the mean one, maybe you're the whatever it is, maybe you're the funny one, okay? So whatever it is, that is your role within the group. So that's what role means. So Mintzberg said, for all managers, there are certain roles that all managers need to know and understand. Decisional roles are roles where some type of decision needs to be made. Interpersonal roles are dealing with other people in the organization, and informational roles, well, organizations and managers need to decide who has access to certain information. Of the different types of roles we're going to talk about, we're first going to talk about the decisional types of roles. And on the decisional types of roles, at the first he mentions in this is the term entrepreneur. For now, I'm going to skip entrepreneur. I will come back to it, I promise. Next up is what Mintzberg calls the disturbance handler role. Now, the word disturbance simply means somebody who's bothering you. So when you have a little brother or sister who's constantly tapping you on the shoulder, trying to get your attention, that's a disturbance. And so when I said the definition for management, I said management is getting things done through people. One of the things that managers have to do is deal with the fact that in every organization, there are people who simply don't like other people in the organization. That's been true of every organization I've ever worked at. Another part of disturbance handler is dealing with any new problems that pop up out of nowhere. So disturbance handler. Resource allocator. The word resource simply means anything of value. And the word allocate means to decide who gets it. So deciding who gets the nice office, that's a resource. Deciding who gets the newest computer, that's a resource. Here at UAEU, Dr. Rashid is my department chair. The most important resource that he can allocate to me is what time I teach my classes, because I'm not a morning person. And so I've asked him, please don't give me 8 a.m. classes. That's all I ask. I'll teach any other time. Just don't give me 8 a.m. classes. So what time I teach is a resource allocator. And then the last of the decisional roles is what's called negotiator. Now this is an easy one for you in this culture. In this culture, you're used to bargaining. You're used to negotiating for many, many things. So in this culture, this one's easy for you. We don't have this where I come from. In America, the only things you negotiate for are the price of a house, you bargain over the price of a car, and maybe you bargain over your salary. Pretty much everything else, it is what it is, and you don't bargain over it. So you have advantages living here in that you're born with the ability to negotiate, or you're raised in it in your culture. Next up. Next up are the interpersonal roles that Mintzberg talks about. He talks about the term figurehead. A figurehead is a person who acts as a symbolic leader of an organization. When you think of Apple, who do you think of? For most of you, it's Steve Jobs. Even though Steve Jobs has been dead for many years, people still think of him when they think of Apple. That is the term figurehead. A leader, we've had this one before. A leader is somebody who motivates and inspires. Mintzberg adds that leaders are people who should be able to give good advice, to be a mentor. Mentor simply means that you're giving new people advice, people who are younger in the organization. And the term liaison. Liaison is a French word. In business, it simply means representing one group to another group. So if I represent the College of Business in a meeting with other colleges, then I am acting as a liaison from the College of Business to discuss and meet and negotiate and so forth with other colleges. So, liaison. Informational roles. The word monitor we've had before. Monitor simply means to watch, to analyze what is going on, both inside, internally, and outside, externally. To disseminate. Now, I'll be honest, the word disseminator is not a word that we use very often in English. It simply means to get information out. And then last but not least, spokesperson. A spokesperson is somebody who publicly speaks on behalf of the organization. Now, if you heard these definitions and you think, wait a minute, does spokesperson mean the same thing as liaison? That's actually a really good question. And I promise you, we're not going to ask any questions on a test that's going to be, well, Steve went to this group and spoke on behalf of the group. Does that make that person a spokesperson or a liaison? Actually, I have a good example of spokesperson. To understand the difference between spokesperson and liaison, I have a good example. I already gave the example of liaison was me representing the College of Business in meetings with other colleges in the university. That's liaison. Example of spokesperson was for orientation this year, Dr. Rashid represented the College of Business and he spoke to all the new people coming, all the new students coming to UAEU. So in that role, he is acting as a spokesperson for the College of Business. I hope that's pretty straightforward. I promised that I would talk about the term entrepreneur last. The word entrepreneur simply means to come up with new ideas, to be innovative. So my question for you is, why would a company as big as a Etisalat or an organization as large as UAEU want managers to think like an entrepreneur? Think about that. The answer is quite simple. Organizations constantly need to look for new and better ways to do things. And so even a company as big as a Etisalat or a company or an organization as big as UAEU has to constantly be looking for new and better ways to do things. So all organizations want managers and employees to think like an entrepreneur. That's a good way to end this segment. I hope you've had a great time. I hope you understand what I talked about. How's that? I don't think you had a great time. Take care. Bye.